Hey guys, stay tuned. I really need your input on this. I'm not quite sure what to think about this one. Hello and welcome everybody. Josh the RV Nerd of Bish's RV down here at Coachman, looking at some Catalinas obviously. This is one of the newest members of their TrailBlazer series, and she's a little bit different. It's almost a blast from the past where it brings back some classic toy hauler concepts. Before toy haulers were the way that they are now, a lot of them did stuff like this where they basically they double dipped the space in what we would call the garage, where that was like also a fold down bed. That's kind of what they've done here, where it could be a simple no slide solo or couples camper with a walkout rear patio. But while you're traveling, you have the ability to bring things, whether it's, a couple motorcycles, maybe like a quad or something like that. Certainly not like a big giant side-by-side ATV like a giant fifth wheel toy hauler would handle. But e-bikes, canoes, kayaks, stuff like that could work in this thing here. It's got, no carpet, enclosed belly, great patio awning space. I will tell you though, it's got what I'm going to call the claustrophobia kitchen, where it is definitely a one-person show in that kitchen. There's not like, hey, let me help you. The best way you can help me is to get out of the way, I think. But being no slide, it's also simpler, easier, lighter weight, less expensive, all of which are handy, attractive features. And I don't have the full weights and measures available to me right now. I'm shooting from the hip, so I might be shooting myself in the foot. Literally just choked on thin air. I'm estimating this to be something you might describe as half-ton towable. But when I get the full weights and measures, if I don't think that's right, I'll leave some extra notes on the screen for you. But I'm going to be very curious to know what you think about this one. And if you like how we get out here and show you new stuff, even if she's weird and different, hit that subscribe button, like our video. Let's peel this onion apart, man. Let's just get right into it here, because I think this is probably going to be either an immediate deal breaker or you can live with it. But if what you're looking at here you don't care for, then let's get it out of the way. And if you appreciate that I respect you folks and your time by pointing out things that maybe you won't like, especially right away in a video, hit that subscribe button, like our video, and maybe tune into something else we have. And know that our goal here is not to have like the most views on YouTube. The goal with this channel is to try to help someone who's looking at considering spending a lot of money on a major purchase, and you want to make sure you're getting the right thing for it. So stuff like this fold down corner queen thing, I could see it not working for some folks, but the thing is, it provides some awesome like multi-function flex benefit here, where you can use this RV in a number of different ways. If you want you like the idea of a cool walkout patio, but you don't want to get a big giant toy hauler, this is something that can work for that purpose. And then during the day, you could put the bed down if you wanted, but you could also bring some chairs in here, slide some chairs in here. Like, you could do different things with this. Now, they threw some fiberglass on the bottom of this bed, and it almost looks like a giant dry erase board to me. And I don't know that I necessarily hate the idea of that being a giant dry erase board. Like, when I was a grandkid camping with my grandparents, I could have definitely kept myself entertained off something like that for a long time. Now, they kind of go with what a lot of toy haulers use with these snap-on kind of blackout window shades, so that, you can totally blot the sun out if you want to, especially around your bedroom sleeping space, but you can also get some views off the campsite of your RV if you want to as well. And while I'm thinking of that, that's actually something this does very, very nicely. Hold on real quick. I'm sure you realized that there's the roll down screen wall here. Also, it does have the little puppy savers, that little, close the gap kind of mesh stuff right there, so that like babies and small dogs can't like fall out of the camper inadvertently, or drunk husbands. I don't know. Just throwing that out there, hypothetically speaking. But the campsite window coverage on this is not bad, really. Now, the wheel well does stick up into the body, but they did build a shroud over it, so it's a drive-on wheel well. So if you fully need to, get in here and on top of this thing, you absolutely can. if you feel like adding an entertainment kind of system like TV to the RV, it's all prepped and ready to do that. But by default, this isn't necessarily just like a TV camper. And I have heard, I think they're moving away from these smart command systems. Seems like a lot of RVs are doing that. Word is, I started asking why. Well, they started doing some data checking, and this costs more money. But what they found is a bunch of people would hook up to it the one time to use, the functions on their phone. But the vast majority of people weren't hooking up to it on their phone again to use it. Now, you might be that one person going, what? That's stupid. Absolutely. But I guess a lot of people weren't. I don't know. Now, in case you're curious, this little bar, you can see the brackets. That can fold down flat against the wall to kind of help maximize your loading space, which is especially important when you look at the location of the tie-downs over here. Now, this sofa, kind of like your bed, can do a couple different things. Step one, it can fold down, into like a jackknife style sleeper sofa. And again, we've got the snap out window shades on there. I just want to make sure you understand what you're looking at with those. And then step two, it can fold up, against the wall to totally get out of the way. Now keep in mind when you fold this stuff up, the little support legs that pop out, they stick out a little bit. And I don't have my tape measure on me. I do apologize. I try to bring that with me in my away kit, but apparently, I don't know. I must have left it back at my home office or something like that. So I don't have the ability today to get you awesome full measurements on this. That's my failure. Apologies. Our local teams, if you're curious, you give them a call. They can, check on all that stuff for you. Again, that table can fold down, but I love the fact, with this being a stick and tin camper, they could put those power outlets in the best locations possible, I think. So, they really exploited that opportunity here. By the way, this has a 6'9" floor to ceiling clearance, which is kind of important when we get in the shower. It is a non-centralized air conditioner, but other than the bathroom, it's all one just big open cabin, and that's located in the middle. It's probably a pretty efficient system. Oh, look at that. I saw that there was like a skylight back here. What I didn't realize until I glanced up just now is that's actually a power vent fan. It's a small one, but it would not be hard. It would be easy, would not be hard. I screwed that all up to upgrade that to something more substantial. Remember, I described this though as a claustrophobia kitchen, and I hope you appreciate the candid transparency. And that is also just a silly tongue-in-cheek phrase. That's just my opinion. I'm not an authority. I recommend you form your own views, but this big 12-volt compressor fridge, it's nice that it's very large capacity, but it's also very, very bossy, and it really sticks out here. And this is, again, a very almost kind of classic toy hauler design. In the times of yesteryear, you found a lot of stuff like this where it was just a little more camping, a little more utilitarian, but they've done a couple interesting little things to it. Like back here, again, easy reach power outlets, but also that little, they built in a little Lazy Susan in the corner because that's hard to reach. I'm a tall guy with long arms. That is hard to reach. It's interesting, the location of the power outlet up here. I like that it's up away from water. I'm kind of curious as to what you're going to do with it up there. Any ideas? Anybody? What do you also think of the single sink here versus like a farm sink? Because it is a very tight, limited space. I think they wanted to leave you some countertop room on both sides, especially since you got some cabinet doors for storage that swing open there. They did the best that they could. But let me get you wrapped up back here in the corner so that we can make one swoop. This is all pocket screwed lumber core cabinetry, by the way. Cracking that open, looking around. It's a weird space. They had to do what they could with it. And overall, I think they did well. One thing I did notice, though, is like down here under the stovetop, not a single drawer. This RV suffers from absolutely no drawers, and I think it's probably easy to work around. You're going to get one of those little silverware drawer organizers and bring it with you. And is it the end of the world? No. But it feels like one drawer. It's like it ought to be a law that, RVs have at least a single drawer. Now, it looks like the shower surround paneling, like they went cheap. The thing is, those kind of come in preset sizes from suppliers. So they couldn't like buy it by the inch. They got the one that worked, and they have a little bit extra tall ceiling, so it just kind of worked out that way. I do like this, you know, in a budget stick and tin class. If they would have left it just open face, I don't think anybody would have faulted them for it too hard. I like that they still threw a door on it, though, to keep some towels and stuff tucked away for transit. But you got a handy shelf there for the butt napkin rollers. And when you're in need of those, I will say, toilet space is a little tight. Especially for righties, it's a little bit tighty. They kind of did the best that they could there. But weaving our way over into the bathroom area, it's a nice rectangular shower, and it is good and plenty tall. So while I'm not sure about the toilet, the what do I want to say? The shower space was actually pretty excellent. And if you were kind of doing the math and playing along as we went here, you may also realize that in flipping up the bed and the sofas, we've essentially already outfitted this one for road mode. Obviously, you're gonna want to close the rear tailgate for transit. Otherwise, get used to a bunch of kindly passersby honking their horns and pointing behind you. You might want to listen to them. Okay, well, we'll see what we get here. It's a hot day in the direct sun. My camera is actually going into overheat mode and is literally on screen threatening to shut down if I don't knock it off. So we're gonna clip through this and see what we get. First of all, absolute applause due to Catalina for the killer patio awning space on this. That is fantastic. And as Casper the Friendly Ghost has demonstrated for us, we have, well, thanks, you too, Casper. Open back up if you don't mind. Use the force, Luke. Yep, there you go. Look at that. What a guy. Okay, he was just playing around, I guess. You've got little side saddle storage pockets. This floor plan does not have a full, true, traditional pass-through. It does have storage again on the other side. It's also a little more blunt in the front, less swept back like my hairline at the top there. It isn't a full flat-on blunt nose, but the hard fact is none of these things are aerodynamically optimized by any stretch of the imagination. Don't know if you saw the little toy lock system on the front either. So like if you got something lightweight you want to leave outside, you can do that. This does ride on a different chassis. It does not ride on the traditional like Lippert I-beam sort of frame. This is the NXG frame by Norco. It's a made with HSLA steel, high strength, low alloy. I'm not a metallurgist. I know what those letters mean. I don't exactly know what that means exactly. My loose understanding is lighter but stronger, but also more expensive. So, you know, everything is a bit of a push and a pull. By the way, under that rear awning arm, you can just see the flag hanging down just in front of the rear stabilizer jack. This does have a gas grill quick connect, and the rear stabilizer jack is all the way on the back of this RV, so that while you're loading it, it keeps everything nice and sturdy and stable, I suppose. Just to give you a look at it, you know, when that rear door is closed, what it looks like, one of the things I do like on these is that they're using like that positive cam latch kind of thing, because it has its own key. It just feels a little bit more secure to me. The other thing is it's like self-clasping, so even if you don't, you know, remember to lock it going down the road, it's very hard for that thing to like pop open on its own. I also really like the fender flares that Catalina does. Instead of the plastic stuff that most brands use, they actually use a formed aluminum. Yeah, if you hit it with the lawnmower, you're gonna ding it up, but the wind is not gonna Jimmy Buffett that sucker around and cause it just to get brittle and snap, especially after a couple years of sun exposure. No factory solar by default, by the way, but you do have an optional 200-watt factory solar package available on these. I also really like how they're awesome about just throwing all the hookups into one spot here. The RV also benefits from the kitchen and the bathroom and everything all having one simplified consolidated exhaust point, which I know folks also tend to prefer. Oh, I didn't even look at this. I opened it and I didn't look inside of it. So I said I don't actually remember if I said this. The RV includes a couple folding stools for that flip-up breakfast bar. When I spoke with the product developer earlier, he said that he was planning on doing that, but I didn't see him inside, so I didn't think they were with the RV. I obviously didn't look too much for it. What? This is not enclosed. No kidding. I guess the holding tanks do stick down past the chassis, so apparently they were not able to enclose it. What the what? How did I miss that? What is this? I'm suffering from heat stroke, and it's locked. Hold on. Let me see if I can do this left-handed. I got to juggle the keys with my lips here to get them flicked around in my hand. Oh, that's behind the pantry, I guess you'd call it, that we looked at in the kitchen. Huh. Well, at least they didn't waste the space, right? A little bit unconventional, but hey, I'll give them credit for trying. So guys, gals, everybody, what do you think about this thing? Is that a nailed it or is that a failed it? Or how could they tweak it around a little bit? I don't know. It's like, I always respect when manufacturers do something a little bit different. Sometimes I wonder if it's different for the sake of being different or if it's different because it makes sense. I don't hate it. I think it's just going to really require the right person. But when is that not true of almost any RV, you know? I'll leave you links in the description, though. If we have any of these in stock, you'll have them right on our website for pricing and availability. And if we happen to be sold out and in the process of restocking, contact our folks. We're happy to get you figures. We don't need your grandmother's social security number, nothing like that to do it. So when you're ready, we're ready. Meantime, I'm going to go get some air conditioning because it was a hot one, baby, tonight. Take care. Stay safe. Have fun. Stay cool, everyone.